Metroid is one of my favorite series of all time. The Prime games are my favorite, with the first one being the one I love the most, and the first Metroid game that got me to love this franchise. Since then, I started to try the other games, and I really like them. I recently beat Zero Mission and Fusion, and they're both fantastic. And I still have yet to play Super Metroid and finish Samus Returns on the 3DS. But there is one game that I heard is really bad, and that is Federation Force. Fortunately, I don't have a capture card on my 3DS, so I'm spared that fate on reviewing it. But there is one other game that isn't as good as the other ones, and that is Metroid Other M. I bought this game because I wanted to see if it was an actually bad game or not, and form my own opinion about it. But before I begin, let me explain the Metroid series just a tiny bit. So in Metroid, you play as the badass bounty hunter, Samus Aran. She mostly fights this one group called the Space Pirates that has members such as Kraid, Mother Brain, and Ridley. Basically, the game style of Metroid is you explore this new world you're on, and when you can't advance any further, you then backtrack and get a new power-up to help you explore new parts of the world. That's basically how every Metroid game is. Hell, there's more games that follow this type of style, like Hollow Knight and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And Metroid made its own genre of that since it's literally called a Metroidvania. Most of the Metroid games are 2D, while the Prime games are a first-person adventure game, and you can't go wrong with either of them. Samus also has some cool abilities like turning into a little ball, missiles, the screw attack, and the grapple beam. She also has some different suits like the Varia and Gravity Suit. The Varia suit protects her from harsh environments, and the Gravity suit makes her run normally in water. Samus is also a silent protagonist. Most of the time she doesn't say anything, and the game starts with her giving a speech using text and whatnot. But that all changes in Other M. So that's enough for me explaining Metroid, so let's get into Other M. So Metroid Other M is a really different game than how a Metroid game normally is. First off, Samus actually talks now. Most items you don't find on your own, and it's pretty linear. I won't lie, those changes are why people don't like this game, and I can see why. This game drastically changed how Samus controls. You literally play with the Wii Remote on its side, and when you need to fire a missile, you tilt the Wii Remote up and go in first person. Plus, you can dodge attacks by pushing the direction buttons. I don't like this control style all too much, especially with the missiles. You could also restore some of your health when it's in the red by holding the remote up and pressing A, and you could also replenish missiles that way. Then there's the plot of Other M. Basically, Samus answers a distress call to this Galactic Federation ship called the Bottle Ship, where she reunites with Adam and his team as they investigate what's going on the ship. Also, Samus finds a little bird creature that definitely won't be a clone of her arch rival now. This game is also a prequel to Metroid Fusion because it has Adam Malkovich and this boss from Fusion named Nightmare. So Adam is this captain that we learn in Fusion that sacrificed his life to save Samus. And both of them had a relationship where they both respected one another, with Adam's signature catchphrase being, "Any objections, my lady?" Also, Samus finds this one woman named Madeline Bergman. That becomes important later on. Besides Adam, there's one other character that I remember and like, and it's this guy named Anthony, who calls Samus Princess.
Fancy meeting you here, Princess.
There's also 3 sectors where one's a forest, volcano, and tundra areas. I really like the lava section a lot. Also, this game was directed by, I am so sorry if I screw this up, Yoshio Sakamoto, who co-created the Metroid series and worked on the previous games. For Other M, he wanted to express Samus' personality more.
The baby.
Oh god! Okay, I think it's now time to talk about the stuff I didn't like, and it's mostly the story. So, I didn't like Adam as much as I wanted to. In Fusion, I had the idea that Adam was this great guy, but Other M doesn't picture him like that to me. He makes Samus not use her abilities, and he authorizes her to use it only when she needs to. I wasn't that annoyed by it, except when Samus had to run through the lava room and she kept taking damage, and it wasn't until she fought a boss and he told her, "Oh yeah, go ahead and activate your Varia suit." I was like, you couldn't have said that earlier! Now that should not be in a Metroid game. You should have been able to find those items to help explore more, not because Adam is a stickler for the rules. I also didn't like how empty he felt. I know he's a captain and has to be serious, but I didn't feel much from him. Also, Adam shoots Samus for no reason. He literally told her that they made Metroids that aren't weak to the cold, but he still froze a Metroid, and Samus literally says that. Oh, it must be because it's in the larval stage. What? Then he goes and sacrifices himself to get rid of all the Metroids in Sector 0 by starting the self-destruct sequence to return the favor to Samus for her risking her neck out for the galaxy, and so she can fight Ridley. Meanwhile, Ridley is dead again, and there's a Metroid Queen that Samus fights. So Adam died for nothing. Oh, that's great storytelling. I did like how he sounded though. His voice actor was pretty good still.
Which is a nice way of saying they can vaporize humans instantly.
Then there's Samus. I did not like how she sounded. She was very boring, and she said the baby a billion times.
My racing thoughts started to frustrate me.
Plus, there's one scene where she has a panic attack after she encounters Ridley. This is an issue because she's fought him quite a few times already, according to the timeline. Now, if she was caught off guard and regained her composure after seeing that it's Ridley, I could see that. But that moment was really bad. Also, there's this plot in the game where someone on Adam's team is killing the other members to leave no survivors behind, so the Galactic Federation won't get in trouble for producing bioweapons. It was a cool concept, but they didn't actually find out who it was. But you kinda had to infer who it was, and spoiler alert, it's this guy named James. Also, her suit didn't change when she got the gravity suit, it just stayed the same with the new ability. Plus, the ending didn't feel quite as good. So basically, Madeline Bergman is actually this other woman and is the lead scientist. Samus actually met the android version of an AI program that mimics Mother Brain to control the Metroids. But anyway, the android's real name is Melissa, and at the end, she makes these creatures attack these troopers that just came on board, and Samus had to protect Madeline. Samus is prepared to fire, but then Madeline fired an ice shot, and the trooper shot the android, and that's basically the ending. I didn't like this. The true ending was actually kind of nice. Samus ran back to the bottle ship right before it was going to explode to get Adam's helmet back, but it was a bit of a pain to actually get there, and this boss was a little annoying. I will say most of the problems lie within the story of the game and how out of character Samus was. Samus is a badass, sexy, silent bounty hunter, and she didn't feel like herself in the cutscenes. So was Adam. I wish I could see why Samus misses him in Fusion and actually respected him. But with the bad stuff, there is still some good within the game, and let's get on with the positives. This game looks really good, especially being on the Wii. The cutscenes look amazing, and it runs pretty well. There are like 2 moments when it'll tank though, just with using the speed booster, and a lot of enemies towards the end. There were some really good boss fights. Despite the Samus scene, the Ridley boss fight was actually pretty fun, alongside with Nightmares. They kept true to Nightmare's boss fight in Fusion, and with that creepy face of his. Even though I don't like the controls, the game was still very fun to play, and you could do a sort of glory kill in it as well. There was one moment I liked in the game, and that was when Anthony was about to be thrown into this lava pit, and Samus uses the grapple beam to get up there, free Anthony, and they both fight that bug. I actually liked this because Samus actually showed some emotion, and Adam was instantly on that authorization. Her charge shot still sounds the same like the other games. Samus' suit still looks very nice, and I love her visor color. Unfortunately, that's basically all I got with the positives. Most of the problems, in my opinion, lie within the story. It's just a mess. So the question I will ask myself, is Metroid Other M a good game? And this is my answer. No, it is not. The story is a mess, Samus isn't herself, Adam is boring and died for nothing, and the gameplay at one point could be really boring, clunky, and repetitive. Also, I do not want to go back and get all the items that I missed because I would actually rather play a good game. I won't lie, I actually had some hope that this was going to be somewhat of a good game, but as I played more and more, I can't agree with them. The bad stuff outweighs the good stuff, and I don't think any Metroid fan wants to hear Samus talk about the baby for the billionth time. Even though the baby Metroid is super important to the story, it was always annoying to hear Samus talk about the baby. But at least you don't need to play this game to fully understand Metroid Fusion's story, and Other M and Federation Force are like the only bad Metroid games. So this is still a great series, it just has a couple of blemishes. Okay, I am done talking about this game. I need to go get a drink. Oh god. Oh, screw that game. Oh god!
Now a Metroid of all times! Well, at least this is better than playing Other M. No! Ow, that hurts.